एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभਉ निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त जुनी सह पंग प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच हैप्पी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक अद्वितीय गुरु नानक देवा ओंकार गुरु अंगद पेवा सतनाम गुरु अमर प्यारे करता रामदास गुरुवारे पुरख श्री अर्जुन सुखदानी निरभਉ हर गोबिंद गुण खानी निर्वैर गुरु है श्री हर राय काल मूर्त हर कृष्ण त्याय जुनी तेग बहादुर राय सह पंगुर समय सहाय गुर प्रसाद ग्रंथ गुर ज्ञाना वाहि गुरु वंदन भगवाना गुरु ग्रंथ कल जुग पयो श्री गुरु रूप महान 10 पातशाह एह रूप है गुरु ग्रंथ जी जान पूर्ण देखियो आत्मा द्वैत सब निवार पै शांत मान शांत ते पद नमो हमार मुख उच्च शास्त्र खाट पिंगरन सर जाय अंध लखे बदरो सनय जो खाओ कृपा कर हाय कहा बुद्ध प्राप्त तुझ हमारी बन सके मैं जो तुम्हारी हम ना सकता से तुम्हारी आप ले हो तुम कहा सवारी सो का होटल गुरु से भी है सहज सुभाए दर्शन पर से गुरु के जन्म मरण दुख जाए दर्शन पर से गुरु के जन्म मरण दुख जाए
सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जी एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभਉ निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सहपंग गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है पी सच नानक होसी पी सच
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह गुरु सासंग जी वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. We're continuing on with the definitions of the Sri Japji Sahib. In the last video we went through the last definition under Jap, which was to talk about the 6 criteria that needed to be filled, which is Isht, Riki, Shakti, Shant, Kilak and Bij. These are the 6 that are there. So we talked about those and we went through the first lot of definitions of Aad Sach, Jugaad Sach, Habhi Sach, Nanak Hosi Sach. And one of the things I need to mention is that some people consider this part of the Sri Mool Mantra Sahib to be actually extra. It is not part of the Mool Mantra. They believe Mool Mantra stops at Gur Prasad, and this is now a slok. The reason for that is because within Sri Sukhmani Sahib you find a slok which says Aad Sach, Jugaad Sach, Hai Sach, Nanak Hosi Sach. And because of that they take this to be a slok as well. One of the main lectures regarding this topic was Gyani Sant Singh Ji Maskeen, and he even mentioned that this was a slok within his writings, and within his Japji Sahib Katha as well, the Japji Sahib that's in 20 parts, and then he did a very much in-depth Japji Sahib in New York, which is available on the internet as well, and within both he states that this is a slok. We're going to continue on. The second lot of definitions now are definitions where Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji, the second Guru, after Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji had emerged within his formless self, Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji had the task of spearheading the Sikh community and guiding them. He was the second Guru, and during this time he was asked all those questions by Sikhs who had not met Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji but there to learn the philosophy and learn the metaphysics of the faith. And one of the questions they asked was, they said, we've been told that the form of the Lord is truth, is the truthful form. But tell us, what type of form is this? And then Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji reply,
Aad Sach.
Maharaj says, Aad Sach. They say, look, when there was nothing, when there was nothingness in the universe, when it was God alone and nothing else, there was no time, there was no moments, there was no minutes, there was no light, there was no darkness. There was nothing. It was just nothingness. When there was nothingness, even at that point, God, Vaheguru, was the form of the truth. Even prior, this is prior to any sort of creation taking place. This is prior to the Big Bang. It's prior to Oankar, Aad, Gathani and Aad. It states that Oankar was mentioned. It was a shabad used to illuminate. And the Bible says, let there be light in the King James Bible, which is exactly the same as Gurbani, Oankar. So Maharaj states that prior to anything being there, that God was the form of truth. And Maharaj continues,
Jugaad Sach.
Jugaad Sach. They say, look, Jugaad Sach. Jugaad Sach. When it says Jug here means the terms of the eras. When the eras came into place. So when causation happened, the universe was created. Bhai Gurdas Ji states that 84 lakh June came together. 8.4 million species was created in one moment by God. And why wouldn't it be if you have the deity who is outside Desh Khan Vastu? You know, he doesn't come to death, he's outside of time. It will take him a moment to do anything. Within a moment he can do everything. Gurbani states, Haran Paran Jaka Nitr for Tiska Mantar Na Jane Hor. That within the blinking of an eye, that universes are destroyed and created by God. But here it goes on to say, Jugaad Sach. Guru Angad Dev Ji says, during the ages, Jugaad. So, secondly, after. So, Jug means two. Aad means primal. So, after the primal. When the time eras were created of Satyug, Treta, Dwapar and Kaljug, even then the form of Vaheguru was truth. And then Maharaj continues,
Habhi Sach.
they say, look Sikho, you need to realise that even now while we sit here, Vaheguru is the form of truth. Vaheguru has remained the form of truth. And then Maharaj continues,
Nanak Hosi Pi Sach.
here Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji are using the pen name Nanak. All the Bani written by the Gurus, Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji, Guru Amar Das Ji, Guru Ram Das Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji and Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji all use the pen name of Nanak. And here, Nanak Hosi Pi Sach, Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji saying, even in the future, that the form of the Lord will remain true. It will remain exactly the same. It will be never changing, and you should always have faith on that. And those are the second definitions of Aad Sach, Jugaad Sach, Habhi Sach, and Nanak Hosi Pi Sach. Like I said, some people call it the Salok of the Sri Mool Mantra, but that is the second lot of definitions. And now we're going to move on to the third ones. Again, here it is Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji who's answering the questions. However, this is prior to them getting the Gurgadi, so at the time they're known as Baba Lena Ji or Bhai Lena Ji. And the Sikhs who used to come to Kartarpur used to ask all their questions to Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji or Bhai Lena Ji, because he was a medium. He could take those questions to the Guru and answer them. But here the questions are asked to Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji. They say to Baba Lena Ji, say, how does one propagate the form of God? How does somebody propagate the form of God? And then Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji replies,
Aad Sach.
they say, Aad Sach. They said, look, initially what you need to do here is Aad. Aad means to first. Sach. They said, what we need to do here initially is the person needs to start performing desireless duties. When they're doing seva, they should not have a desire in their mind. When they're worshipping God, they should not have a desire. When they're doing anything, they should not seek any reward. And that's the first thing they should do. Aad here means to first, initially, they should do the desireless work, the desireless duty. Such is here to worship. So once you do desireless work and duty, then you should start meditating. And it's only through having faith and belief then that Maharaj continues.
Jugaad Sach.
They say Jugaad. Now you got to remember here, Jug here means four, because you get four jugs. So that's what I mean. Where you get the four eras of Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kaljug. Or people call it the gold, silver, the bronze, and the iron age. 4 ages. But here the term is four. So what here Maharaj is saying is you need to adopt the four disciplines. The four disciplines we've talked about prior. Vairag, which is dispassion. Vivek, which is reasonable wisdom, where you can understand what is right, what is wrong. Khat Sampadi, which are 6 different little disciplines. Samdam, Shraddha, Tatiksha, Obram. These are some of them there. And the last one is Mokhicha, the desire to be freed from this life, free from transmigration, and merge one in God. And that's what Maharaj says. So Jugaad, that's Jugaad. And he's such. He goes, then start listening. Listen to the truth. So you've already done desireless tasks and you've built up belief, and now you need to adopt these 4 disciplines, Jugaad, and then Sach. You need to then listen to the truth, to the discourses. And Maharaj continues.
Habhi Sach.
The first one, like I talked about in Sach, is Sarvan, which is to listen. The second one here, Maharaj says, is to contemplate. Hair is to do. You should contemplate on God. You should contemplate on the truth. Be means Nadhyasan. Nadhyasan means to perform, to follow, to do yourself. Mahavir, within the Jain faith, states that within his faith, what he has done is he has built a bridge and crossed it. But what you do is, it's not a bridge that you can just get on and follow. You need to follow his way of creating the bridge and getting over to the other side yourself, away from suffering. And here, in the same way, Maharaj is saying, Hair be such. Hair be such. So he's saying hair is to think upon and reflect upon and to contemplate, and be here means to perform, to do. So once you get told, right, if you do this and do this, and then you will get this as a reward. It's the same way. You're being advised throughout Gurbani how to live your life, how to do things, how to meditate. And then you will be rewarded by gaining the true form of God. And here, be is stated that through contemplation and through practice, such you will gain the form of truth. Be such. That's what Maharaj says. And then Maharaj continues.
Nanak Hosi be Sach.
Nanak here means God. One of the definitions of Nanak is God. You got to remember Gurmukhi. You got to remember the Guru and Vaheguru are exactly the same. One is in a transcendent form, one is in a non-transcendent form. And here what they're saying is, so after an amount of time, what will happen is Nanak Hosi be Sach. Hosi means to become. Be, you will. One will become the form of God. Sach. So, like I said, one will become Nanak Sach. That's how the definition here is broken down and played out. So one will become the form of truth. And by doing these things, Aad Sach, Jugaad Sach, Habhi Sach, it explains how you go from not knowing about God to becoming the form of truth. And the Sikhs who were there with Bailenaji were happy with the answer that they were given. And then they continue on, they say, okay, what happens when you've said that I will merge one with God, but what happens when my body decays and comes to destruction? And then Maharaj states, look, everybody will remain the pure form. And they continue.
Nanak Hosi be Sach.
They say, look, when the body comes to an end, the Atma itself is already the true form. So it's only the body that has to suffer the form of decay, of increasing, of dying, of issues. And in the end, what will happen is it will come to an end. But when the body goes, you will realize that your true form is always pure. And you will always have the form of truth. And that's what you need to understand. So again, the Sikhs were happy with this answer. And they said, that's fine, we understand that. So we know what we need to do. Tell us about how to propagate the Lord, you've told us. Tell us about what will happen after we die, that's fine. And then they said, okay, that's fine. When the Lord created everything, when he created the universe, did he get tired? Did he get tired, or did he decrease, or did he lose some ability, some power or something? And then Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji states, no, look, not at any point. God remains the same. We said that he is the form of Sach. He is omnipresent. He remains the same in every way. Unlike the Genesis theory, where God created the world in 6 days and on the 7th day had to rest. Like I said, Gurbani states in Bhai Gurdas Niyavala, within the first Vard, second Salok, last line, he states that Charasi Lakajun was created in one go. In an instant. There was no I've got to do this today, got to do that today, got to do that the next day. There was no planning or preparation involved. Within a moment, everything occurred. And here, what they're saying is you need to understand that God does not decrease in form, He does not increase in form, He does not get tired, He does not need sleep, He doesn't need to eat, He is constantly the same. And that is to be respected and revered about God. So again, the Sikhs were very happy to hear this. And then they went on and they just asked one last question, and they said, What is Brahm? What is the type of Brahm? What is God when you say that He is Brahm? And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji continue. Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji continue.
Aad Sach.
They say, look, even in the primal time, that Vaheguru Brahm Swarup, the formless God, was true. And then they carry on.
Jugaad Sach.
And they say Jugaad. So when the eras were created, Jug Aad. Jug here means two. And like I've said before, Jug means four, Jug means a number of things, but here it means two. When the world was split and God placed Himself within every part of creation, the Jeevs and the Ishwar were created. So the Jeev is the being, Ishwar is the one who is the realized being, and these two were created. And even within them, the form of God has been the form of truth. And Jug here, again, like I said, it means two things. First one there is the Jeev and the Ishwar. And here it now goes on to the being of God and His creation in the universe. Even within all that, He is complete and He is the form of truth. And Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji continue.
Habhi Sach.
They say even now while we sat here, God is the form of truth and always will be the form of truth. And finally they finish off.
Nanak Hosi Sach.
And Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji say, look, you need to realise that even in the future, Vaheguru will be the form of truth and always will be. And that for today is the definitions of the Salok or the end of Sri Mool Mantra side, whichever you believe in. It's either way, it makes no difference. It's the same for me. I've got to do the definitions, but that's the end of the definitions there. We will do a short video after this on the different definitions of Nanak, and I'll explain those as well. But with regards to this video, we'll close it up, and Kamalpreet Singh, if you can oblige.
Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirpau Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Saipang Gurprasad Jap Aad Sach Jugaad Sach Habhi Sach Nanak Hosi Sach Vaheguru
Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. He Gobind, He Gopal, He Dayal Lal, Prananath Anath Sakhe, Deen Dard Nivar. He Samrat Agam Purana, Mohe Me Atar, Andakup Mahapayan, Nanak Pariyatar. आए प्रभु शरणागति कृपा निध दयाल एक अक्षर हर मन वस्त नानक होत निहाल एक अक्षर हर मन वस्त नानक होत निहाल वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।